Y'all, I have these small memory like techniques that I use to like help me memorize things as fast as I possibly can. And this tech typically works when I'm like 15 minutes away from having to do a test and I haven't studied at all. And it works. Like, I won't lie, it does work. Specifically for me. I don't know about anybody else because that doesn't make sense if it works for everybody, but it works for me. It's like usual memory technique, repetition, look at the same thing over and over again. But like I feel like another thing I do is tie something that I really need to remember to something else. It doesn't even matter what it is. If you don't say it to anybody, it doesn't really matter. I had this music theory class and for the life of me, I couldn't remember Locrian. So I spent like 15 minutes being like Locrian. What do I tie to Locrian? And LaCroix is what happened. You know what's funny is the fact that I said LaCroix so much that one of my friends who was also taking the class could only remember LaCroix and never Locrian. So I kind of fucked him over, but it was really funny. I'm not gonna lie. So every time I heard the word Locrian, I would be like LaCroix. And that's how I remembered it because I'm like, oh, it's fucking LaCroix. And then my brain does that. I don't know. It works sometimes. I mean, it works like every single time I do it. The more memorable the thing is, like, the more memorable your like connection is, the more you're gonna actually remember the real thing. At least for me, like sometimes I tie things to slurs because I'm just like, they're very close. And I'm just like, this'll work. And it does. I don't say them out loud to anybody, but just know that I'm thinking like, oh, I remember I heard that slur. I'm going to tie it because it's so absurd that you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's the thing I tied to a slur for some reason. And it works. I do very exaggerated movement because if I'm like acting crazy, I'm going to be like, why was I acting crazy over what? Like, I act extremely dramatic, like it's the end of the world sometimes about some things. If I'm just like, this is stupid, why do I have to remember this? But I like over exaggerate to like the point where like I'm out of breath sometimes. And that really helps sometimes. I'm just like, what if I exaggerate so much movement that I'm just like, what the fuck? Why did I do that? Ah, yes. Like these work for me. They might not work for other people, but like, I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm thinking about like all the crazy shit that I've seen. I'm just like, oh, I remember those, but I'm trying to be like, what is a mundane thing that I can think of? And I'm just blank. See, that proves my point. Probably. I don't know. I just think it's cool. Anybody else got anything else? I genuinely, I've heard of like memory palaces. That shit has never worked for me. Well, I've never really tried it, but like, I feel like it just wouldn't work too well for me. It's like, create a story. I'm like, I'm just gonna connect things to slurs and it works fine for me.